Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Honest am here, the creator and writer of the Honesty Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives and teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not choose the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop Charlamagne and God, it will not stop me. And number 24, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Dear God, guardian angels, and ancestors, we come to you as humbly as we know how to just say thank you. Now, God, what information do you deem worthy for me to hear at this time? Please deliver these messages to me and through me as clear as possible. Allow no room for doubt or confusion in me or the viewers' mind. Agent number 44, Ashe. Cody, why don't you just sit on the couch, Papa? Your thing is getting washed. It's getting washed, baby. You don't have to sit on that. Go sit on the couch. You sit on the couch? Alright. Sorry, y'all. I'm washing our stuff, and he's like sleeping on this like beanbag. Alright, so two cards that came out. He's still like sitting on the thing because I'm like cleaning the cover, and he's just like sitting on his thing. It's very weird. It like don't have nothing on it. Anyways, hunger and protection are the two cards that came out. With these two cards coming out, hunger to me just signifies like the hunger for your passion or your desires. Also with this card of yellow coming out, it's reminding me of the solar plex. And so what God is saying is that whatever you are passionate for, whatever your soul desires, whatever things you are actively going after God are saying that they protected, angel number 150. So just continue to work on it and know that God got your back. And what I mean by protected, it just means, when I say protected, that doesn't mean that you won't have any trials of any kind. But what it does mean is that God is going to make sure that no matter what happens, is that you have all of the tools and capability to make it through. And so don't be sad whenever you have something come up, and don't stop doing what you're doing. Just keep focusing even in moments of isolation, because all of this is going to bring you into balance. Angel number 222. All right, so let's go and get some more get some more information about this card of hunger and protection. For some reason, I feel like you're sad that you haven't actually turned this endeavor into a reality yet. And I just feel like what God is saying is to just keep working towards it. Know that it's going to happen. Don't give up. Know that you're protected, and that eventually if people who make it's not because they're like special, it's just because they haven't given up. Like if you listen to a lot of people's stories, especially like I think about Tabitha Brown, she has a very good interview with Jamel Hill, angel number 304. And it just like shows you, like, you think that she's this overnight sensation because she came from TikTok, but this has been a 10-year grind. And if Tabitha would have gave up, we would have never had her. She would have never been able to have this season of her being in the sun. And so I don't know why that came up, but that may be you. You may be feeling like, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years and nothing is coming. And just the moment that you give up, it could literally be, a day away from your big breakthrough. So don't give up, all right? Let's go get some more information about this card of hunger. Okay, of course, these are... these cards, bro. They are... Okay, hunger. This card is not about the bodily hunger for food, but a hunger for something more, a craving for something that will nourish your soul. It signals a deep wanting for something to fulfill you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Ask yourself, what are you hungry for? What are you hungry for? And then with this card of protection... The essence of this card is about feeling personally safe and protected as you navigate through life. It asks you to find the delicate balance of pushing yourself through fear, anxious situations, while also feeling secure. This card asks how you could feel protected during those scary situations. Does it mean reaching out to others, or just making sure that you are grounded in the present? How can you move forward while feeling safe? And so with this card of sadness coming up, with you feeling hunger, with hunger and protection, I think for some of you guys, I think like the heaviness of what's going on in the world is making you sad, and it's kind of making you feel like, well, what is the purpose of me going after my goals? What is the purpose of me going after my dreams during this time? And God is saying, stop thinking like that. Like, the purpose of you going after your goal, I talk about this all the time, is because it's eventually going to help us. It's eventually going to help move this world forward, whether it's an invention, whether it's a book, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what you're working on, but I know that if you give up on it, like, the world will never have it, and you'll probably feel worse. And so I feel like God is saying, like, we have to use this time of when we don't feel protected, when we don't feel guarded, when we feel sad, and just pour it into our endeavors. I also feel like it's going to help us transmute some of this energy. But I'm actually going to go ahead and get into our getting into the vortex, the law of attraction. I'm sorry, y'all, something feel like it's in my eye. I'm going to go into that because this feels like it's a tool that we can use. I feel like God is trying to show us how in these unprecedented times, unprecedented, is it unprecedented? I feel like Portia right now. Anyways, in these scary times where we feel like, we can't trust the government, we can't trust the world, we can't trust anything, God is saying that this is really the time that we should be, pouring into our endeavors, pouring into our passions, because I think they would make us feel better, and they will lift our sadness. And we already know that when we lift our sadness, or when we are feeling just a little bit better, it shifts our vibration. And when we're vibrating differently, then that means that we can get something differently. So let's just go ahead and go into these cards and just get a tool that we can use. Dear God, guardians, and ancestors, what is this message of hunger, protection, and sadness all about? What are you trying to get us to stop doing? And why do you got stop hunger and protection and sadness? What is a tool that we can use to just help us in this time of sadness? How can we stop focusing on the injustice in the world and just really pour into our endeavors and becoming that person that we know we can be on the inside? What is this message? Why are you giving us this message? What is one tool that we can use? Allow no room for doubt or confusion. Hunger, protection, and sadness, and stop. Why is this message so important? In God's name I pray. Ashe. All right, we just want one tool that we can use. One tool. Okay. I don't like when that happens. Several tools came out, so let's try this again. One tool. I'm just going to take this on top. And the tool that's on top, and it's funny because this card, in number 755, I kept seeing this card. Shortages of time or money are perpetual. If you are feeling a shortage of time or money, your best effort would be to focus upon better feeling thoughts and do more things that make you feel good. Your time is a perpetual thing, and even though the clock is ticking the same for everyone, your alignment affects your perception as well as your results. As you observe the enormous differences in the effort that people apply and the results they achieve, you have to conclude that there is more to the equation than achieving alone. And this is what God is trying to get you to understand. This is our power. Our power as spiritual beings is recognizing that even in times of sadness, even in times of uneasiness and turmoil, that our power as spiritual beings is that we can go within. We can go within ourselves. We can focus on the things that we do want. We can focus on feeding our passions, and then eventually it will change our reality. God is saying that if you feel it, literally this card said, if you feel shortages of time, money, or effort, time or money, then your best effort would be to focus upon feeling better thoughts, because your time is a perpetual thing. Literally, this message started off with protection, right? And hunger. What are you hungry for? What do you feel like you want to do? Angel number 923. It's something that you feel like you want to do. You have this idea that this type of person that you want to be, but because of the things that are going on in the world, you feel like the time is up. It's too late. And God is saying that's a lie. That's a trick of the enemy. And I told y'all, I'm not even going to get into that this week, but we told all this stuff is propaganda. So God is saying, instead of just staying stuck in our feelings, stop that. Know that we are protected, and instead focus on our endeavors, focus on our passion, focus on that thing that we ultimately want in life. What do I want and why do I want it? This card came out before. When you acknowledge what you do not want, and then ask yourself what it is you do want, you begin a gradual shift in telling yourself a new story and a much improved point of attraction. We don't want chaos. We don't want turmoil. We don't want evilness ruling the world. And so instead of focusing on that, know that you're protected and focus on your endeavors. Again, this is God teaching us. This seems like this is what this week is all about how to become spiritual masters. This is what the spiritual journey is about. This is why we're learning all of this shit. We're not doing this so that we can fucking have followers and come up with a fucking e-course that we can sell. We're doing this shit so that we can change the world and help bring heaven on earth. We're doing this shit for our kids, for the future generations. And so God is saying, I know what's going on in the world, but you need to develop the skill to direct your thoughts. It's a lot of bad shit going on. It's going to always be a lot of bad shit going on. Go look at the history of the United States of America. This is not the worst that it's been. Knock on wood, because we don't need it to get worse. But still, what God is saying right now, you need to focus on what you do want. You get the essence of what you think about, whether you want it or not. Because the law of attraction is inherently consistent. Therefore, you are never only telling the story of how it is now, you are also telling the story of your future experiences. So again, God is saying, it's time for you to develop the skill to direct your thoughts. Stop focusing on the negative. Stop focusing on, oh my God, the time is running out. Don't worry about the time. You're protected. Don't worry about what's going on in the world. You're protected. Feel your sadness. Ask your sadness, what is it? What do you stop and think about what your sadness is trying to tell you? What are you hungry to do? How can you contribute to this? It's probably why you feel so sad, because there's things that you want to do that you're not doing. You know, every single day when I sit here and I think about my life and I'm like feeling sad that I'm not moving fast enough, or I'm not, where I want to be, I think about like where I was 5 years ago. When I didn't even have a hobby, when I wasn't even 7 years ago, when I didn't even think writing, I wasn't even writing at all. And it's like, I have this book that I'm working on. I have Honestly Sis. Like, I have so much going for myself. I'm at least walking in the direction of my dreams. At least I'm in the arena. Some of you guys are not even in the arena of your dreams, and that's why you feel so much sadness. It's reminding me of that Toni Morrison quote. If there's a book that you want to read, then you need to go out and write it. That's the book I'm writing. I'm writing my dream book, the book that I always wanted to see in the world. What is something you always wanted? And stop waiting for somebody to do it, but you go do it. You be that person to bring it in. Instead of focusing on all the bullshit that are going on, because all that's going to do is just keep you in this state of isolation. So instead, stop so that we can balance and bring in space for something new. This is going to alleviate all of your anxiety and make you have success and happiness. Come on, and it's going to disrupt society. And make us all feel more confident in who we are as a people, because we're going to be abundant. Don't let me keep pulling. Angel number 1335. But that's it. I'm going to leave the message there. This message is all about, as we're in this time of chaos and turmoil, feeling like we're running out of time, feeling like the world is going to end at any time, God is saying, stop it. Stop feeding into that. Stop feeding into, oh my God, it's going to be a war. Stop feeding into that. Instead, put your intentions and your effort into what you want to build, who you want to be, what type of society and world you want to live in. And when you do that, you vibrate differently. You attract those type of experiences. And when you attack those type of experiences, you are not only changing your life, but you're changing the life of everyone around you. All right, y'all. That's it. That is all the messages I have for y'all. I think I'm actually going to end this message with the work your light. I'm going to end this message with a work your light. Again, another very straightforward message. This message is all about learning the skill to direct your thoughts, because this skill is so important. Because I'm going to read this. The most valuable skill or talent that you could ever develop is that of directing your thoughts towards what you want. Again, going back to this message of what do you want and why do you want it. To be adept at quickly evaluating all situations and then quickly coming to the conclusions of what you want most, and then giving your undivided attention to that. There's a tremendous skill in there is a tremendous skill in deliberately directing your own thoughts that will yield results that cannot be accomplished with the results with mere action. So again, this is why God is saying you're protected. Don't feel the sadness. He's saying that when you tap into the skill of learning how to direct your thoughts, you tap into your spiritual tools. You tap into a power that's greater than you. And so remember, we don't need our mind. We don't need to physically do so much, but we're really learning how to step into our power as spiritual beings to help bring heaven on earth. And again, look at this. I can pivot under any and all conditions. Again, this talks about sleep hypnosis tracks. This makes me think about that article I have on Honestly Sis called I Am Not My Thoughts, because this is actually something that we need to work on. We actually have to learn how to develop the skill to direct our thoughts, learn how to pivot. I keep telling y'all, all of this negative stuff is happening for a reason, because it's key. If it shows you all the negativity, if it shows you all the worst stuff, it's going to keep you in a place of sadness. If you keep you in a place of sadness, then that's your point of attraction. So which means that when you feel hopeless, then the universe is only going to be able to give you more situations to make you feel hopeless, right? But then if you focus on your passions, what you do want, the universe has no choice but to deliver those to you. And when they deliver it to you, it's not only affecting your life, it's affecting others, because we are all in this together, right? So that's why it's so important for us to keep our vibration up during these tough times, all right? All right, dear God, guardian angels, what is this message of hunger, protection, sadness, and stop all about? Why do you want us to know that the shortages of time or money are perpetual, that we have to develop the skill to direct our thoughts and focus on what we do want and why we want it? God, please let us know why this message is so important. Allow no room for doubt or confusion in me or the viewer's mind. Give us just one last card. And this popped right out. The ever unfolding rose, crack open. It's happening for you, not to you. Angel number 1711. I can't make it up. I was telling y'all all last week, all of this shit is happening for our good. That world verse is happening for our good. We saw it in the Bible, the last shall be first, and it's happening. It is happening. So let's read this message of crack open. Hey, baby. Oh, this made me feel so sweet. I love him, Cuddy, right here. No, I'm like in love with my dog. I love him so much. All right, this is a confirmation card, angel number 24. All right, and the reading goes as follows. The challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. To let life crack you open, to open through hurt and loss, to allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of losses and tragedies, as much as triumphs and adventures. Whenever you find yourself at the moment, life is coding you to keep your heart open, no matter how much it hurts. To continually unfold, to let crack life you open. I'm going to read this one more time. To continually unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps, as hard as it may be, life is happening for you and not to you. In one day, in the not too distant future, you may just bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps, as hard as it may be, life is happening for you and not to you. And one day, in the not too distant future, you may just bless the thing that broke you down and crack you open, because the world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently. to treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby, to wrap yourself in a blanket and trust the mother that you cradle in her arms. The seas may not be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held. One day, not too far from today, you will look back at the transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. That just made me so happy. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting called to pull from our notes from the universe. But as I'm telling you guys, we're going through this very dark time. You know, humanity, we're going through ascension. The world is going through ascension. We're going through a new change. And in order for us to see a true transformation, a lot of us, we have to feel these feelings. We have to be cracked open. We have to see all the injustice to actually be fuel to go towards our passions. And so know that no matter what you see going on in this world, everything is going to be okay. It is happening for our good. Do not allow... Oh my God, it just made me so happy. All right, dear God, guardian angels, and ancestors, one final message. You told us everything is going to be okay. You told us that we are protected. You told us that the shortages of time and money are perpetual. So God, I'm just asking you, what is one final message you want to leave with us on our journey, God? Allow no room for doubt or confusion. And this card flew out. Yeehaw! Earlier disappointments were just... First of all, this first message was yeehaw. I tell y'all, every time I tap into the ancestors, they are hype. They are like, we have been waiting for this time. I don't, like, literally, every time I tell y'all I be seeing that stuff, I be like, bitch, you need to get scared. Because when I tell y'all the spiritual side, our ancestors, the beings of light, the aliens, everybody is on the side of good. They're on the side of justice, and they're on the side of change. And they like, yeehaw, we about to get started. And the last message that I'm going to leave you with is earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. And so I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how long you've been working on that endeavor, but I want you to know that if you give up, it'll never happen. If you stop right now, then you are deciding that the world is meant to be in chaos. If you stop right now, you're deciding that your life don't need to get better. But what God is telling you is that every fucking thing you've been through is getting you to this point for you to crack open and become the person who you were truly meant to be. So what you gonna do? All right. I'm so happy, y'all. That message just made me so good. This message is all about learning how to direct the skill develop the skill to develop the skill to direct our thoughts, because it's ultimately, once we figure that out, once we just get control of our mind, it's like once you master your emotions, once you master your mind, then now you're out of here. Then you step into your spiritual power. And then that's when you be able to see that all those earlier disappointments were just rehearsals for the good stuff, and that everything will truly, truly be okay. All right, y'all. That's all the messages I have for you. Angel number 2255. If you made it to the end of this message, please give me a thumbs up. If you made it to the end of this message, you are not subscribed. What are you waiting for? Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Namaste. I will see y'all next week. I hope that made y'all feel good, because that really made me feel good. Okay? All right. Talk to you soon.